Welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian Kingsbury. Today we're going to do another Brian Reads the News segment. This one's coming to us from Vulture.com. It's titled, The Best Albums of 2024 as Cruelty Reigned. The year's top releases sought stability. It's by Craig Jenkins. This year was one big stress test that presented artists with a choice: face uncomfortable realities or serve distractions to the audience. Pop music turned inward and looked backward, while hip-hop weathered court cases and incalculable losses. Country struggled to reconcile conservative interests with a much wider base of artists and listeners, while rock and roll and dance music stretched past their boundaries, occasionally commingling. With a keen awareness of what lies on both ends of the spectrum of human kindness and cruelty, 2004's best music documented an unbreakable will to keep pushing past the worst days to get to wherever the peaceful ones are hiding. Album number 10 on the list is Medio Picky by Bexico y Rico. The playful spirit of Dominican DJ and producer Medio Picky shines through his records. September's El Pico de la Yuca was a clever urbano concept album, imagining a future podcast finding the record and unpacking it in real time. October yielded the more concise Bexico y Rico, which uses Dembow as a launch pad into hyperspace. The frenetic silence soars on clattering percussion and synths that conjures Sonic the Hedgehog levels of the mind, but the mix is slammed just as hard when the tempo's slow. Tu Papi Rico pairs reggaeton brashness with industrial crunch, and as Unicorn distorts gossamer bells, it raises discomforting harmonics. Bexico unfolds like a consequential club night. At number 9 is a collection of various artists on an album called Tranza. The HIV/AIDS advocacy nonprofit Red Hot organization is good for at least one great to arguably classic benefit compilation per decade. 1993's No Alternative housed a sought-after Nirvana B-side. 2009's Dark Was the Night tracked the aughts indie rock explosion with Grizzly Bear and Bon Iver jams. 2016's Day of the Dead delivered 5 hours of jaw-dropping Grateful Dead reworks. This year's Tranza gained steam after the ultimately death of pop and dance music impresario Sophie in 2001 as a celebration of trans and non-binary musicians' contribution to the culture. Any stretch of track list is a joy. Beverly Glenn Copeland is everywhere. Massachusetts folkie Amile joins Barty Strange and Cara Jackson for a slick rendition of TV on the Radio's Wolf Like Me. And then Laura Jane Grace tears into Jane Country's Surrender Your Gender with Sonic Youth's Lee Ronaldo in the tow. Hunter Schafer reads Eileen Miles a few minutes after Julian Baker serves as a bustling take on a 90s Belle and Sebastian classic. Like No Alternative, Tranza buries its trophy. The 1993 Nirvana cut was a hidden track, and its successor seats the return of Sade at track 37 of 45. Young Lion sees the Quiet Storm icon apologizing to her son Isaac for not noticing and affirming his manhood sooner. The lineup is an embarrassment of riches, snaking through ambient folk and jazz songs where cishet, queer, trans, and non-binary artists exchange ideas on art and personhood that our governments resist. Next album on the list is Fontaine's DC Romance. Romance, the fourth studio album from erstwhile Dublin post-punk quintet Fontaine's DC, is a lad rock epiphany ambitious enough to incur the wrath of Oasis Liam Gallagher, who thinks they look like a shit EMF. Absurd press photos notwithstanding, Romance is the rare noisy streamlining of an acclaimed band's sound that loses no ferocity from tightening up. The string-adorned grungy straightforwardness of Desire might frustrate fans of 2020's dour taught love is the main thing, but the message of weathering insurmountable odds by closing ranks is still there. Building on the folkier and more reflective stretches of 2022's Skinkity Fia, a romance offers a bolder and more dynamic rendering of ideas animating Fontaine's since the start. Number 7 on the list is Rachel Chinchuri's What a Devastating Turn of Events. Croydon singer-songwriter Rachel Chinchuri was born in 1998, but her debut album, What a Devastating Turn of Events, drips with nostalgia for the mid-90s cool Britannia she narrowly missed. Britpop's blend of tart hooks and exploration of the failings of Thatcherism echo in the title track's harrowing abortion rights yarn. The rest of the album paints a more fleshed-out picture of coming up in the shadow of Tom York and Lily Allen and landing in the Olivia Rodrigo era of powerhouse vocalists making killer rock songs. My Everything is crushing psychedelic breakup playlist platinum, and The Hills out Weezer's Van Weezer. At number 6 on the list is MJ Lenderman's Manning Fireworks. Inching away from scrappy, craggy, cosmic rock tunes that pulled inspiration from forebears like Will Oldman and the late Jason Molina, North Carolina singer-guitarist MJ Lenderman arrives at a more crisp and clear sound on Manning Fireworks, his 4th studio album. Pitched between the country-tinged slacker rock of a Freddie Johnston and the reedy doom of Dinosaur Jr.'s Jay Masix, Lenderman sings coolly of biding time and escaping a rut. She's Loving You sells shrugging motivation. It falls apart. We all got work to do. At number 5 on the list is Mustafa by Dunya. The hushed folk tunes of Sudanese-Canadian singer-songwriter Mustafa sits at a psychological roundabout joining familiar obligations, faith's journey, the inner city struggles, everything's connected. A breakdown in a lane creates a spiritual traffic jam. Following 2021's curt arresting when smoke rises, this year's heftier Dunya tugs at the decade's most disheartening threads. What happened? Mohammed mourns a friendship ruined by growing neighborhood strife. Gaza is calling, and beauty and speak to the all too common experience of bracing for the worst news of loved ones trapped in an ethnic cleansing operations across the globe. You've been on the phone for too long. The latter song frets knowingly. It's either someone's coming back or someone is gone. Dunya depicts the man's mission to hold cherished people and traditions close while the larger facets of reality he can't control shake his foundations. At number 4 on the list is Bilal, Adjust Brightness. After scoring a string of R&B hits in the early aughts and returning for a formidable trio of 2010s albums, Soulquarian veteran Bilal Saeed Oliver disappeared into travel and family life, taking up residence in Morocco for a time with his wife and her family. Urchin Nurmal from Adjust Brightness, his 5th album, pithily addresses a massive gap in his release calendar. Fate would have me quarantine alone, and after that I lost my phone. The firstborn second singer hasn't lost a step. His instrument, the closest thing to Prince's, in its delicate, purposeful fraying of a gorgeous falsetto runs, remains breathtaking in action. It's softer than the sparse strings in the sultry Tell Me. It's a reverb and a phaser-soaked drone in the quantum universe, and Adjust Brightness reinstalls Bilal as a nexus joining jazz, funk, jungle, soul, and rock. At number 3 on the list is Ka, the Thief Next to Jesus. News of the sudden death of 52-year-old Brooklyn rapper and firefighter Ka was devastating this fall. He's been a standard bearer for chiseling out a career hour after moonlit hour. His records, terse and haunted, picked the words and source materials carefully, like time and resources were of the essence. The Thief Next to Jesus, released in the last month of his life, is a testament to monk-like poise and pointedness, prodding black church history for thematic concept and sorting convention for samples. Ka inspects generational trauma and resulting coping mechanisms. Beautiful is a rousing call and response with a choir. Deeper speaking need to be a beacon that's beautiful. In the darkest night, little starlet is beautiful. Cross you bear, recast dodged independence as literal survivalism. Discreet, not enough as physique to have a leech latching on. For years only snacking on what I can catch in palm. It all reads like a manifesto now. At number 2 is Makhomi by Rich Axe Haitian. Like a folk hero or a problem-solving Ronin, Makhomi feels like he emerged as a fully formed concept, reincarnating something that always been there. On the East Coast, rap mystics' latest revolutionary politics and blunted braggadocious mix in tracks decrying industry bloodsuckers with avaricious, hyper-capitalistic aims, leaning into points where his voice breaks while he raps, sings and orates about phony rappers and Haitian liberation. Mock chops it up with Rock Marciano, Haitian Jack, Black Thought, and Georgia Ann Muldrow, sharing the pooled wisdom here, intersecting perspectives. Melted sample loops are the lingua franca here, but the title track is your reminder that this isn't one of those underground rappers allergic to a slippery groove. At number 1 on the list is The Cure, Songs of a Lost World. 2024 dealt endless invitations to moroseness and summoned our wild-haired crown prince of pain, The Cure's Robert Smith. Songs of a Lost World, the band's latest album, is a towering achievement, a perfectly retrenchment in a year full of furtive attempts at similarly nostalgic measures of artists rehashing past glories and hit songs, liberally borrowing old licks. Reverting to a primal version of itself, The Cure retraces the steps leading up to our disconcerting present, wondering what went wrong. Smith's 65-year-old porcelain dramatist and too patient pop genius contends with the sense that the possibilities he dreamt as a boy, raised in the pride and promise of the space race, have died on the vine. Everyone missing something, a friend, a loved one, a feeling of general stability, a faith in a brighter tomorrow. Lost World tussles dutifully with the nagging voice in the backs of our minds saying that belief in never-ending progress and exponential growth were grave miscalculations, when what we've actually left for subsequent generations is a vast array of new ways to war and die. All we will ever know is bitter ends, the agonizing war song prophesizes. Majestic opener alone raises a glass wearily. And here is to love, to all the love falling out of our lives, but catchy melodies and deep yearning tug against grief, suggesting that to live is to lose, is to hurt and persevere. I know, and nothing is forever, admits in a maelstrom of orchestration that my world has grown old, but it really doesn't matter if you say we'll be together. The new songs are thick but plush, intimidating but inviting, blustering but unhurried. It's the best The Cure has sounded this century. All right, there you have it. Another successful Brian Reads the News segment. That was a mouthful, coming to us from Vulture.com. The best albums of 2024 as Cruelty Reigned. The year's top releases sought stability. You can go up there, check that out in a little bit more detail. Give those albums a listen and let me know what you think in the comment section. If there's one worth giving a listen, let me know and I'll get my ears on it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this look at 2024's best albums, and you will go check some of those out. If you like these sort of articles, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Here's a look at my channel. I'm simply Brian Kingsbury on YouTube, sitting at 1.11 thousand subscribers with 4.5 thousand videos. There's plenty for you to watch up there. Go on up there, watch a few videos, give the channel a subscription, and then ring that notification bell. When you ring the bell, you'll be notified every time a new video drops. I thank you for watching this one to the very end. If you could do me a huge favor, give this one a like on your way out. Hit that like button, get this in front of a few more eyes, help me get a little closer to monetization. I thank you for watching this one to the very end. Again, I'm Brian Kingsbury. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.